Okay, so the film I'll be reviewing today is Juno. One of the reasons why I took this film and it kind of had like a sentiment with me in the class is I remember seeing this film in theaters when I was 7 years old. But I don't know if I should have been watching this movie around then because it's very inappropriate, but I did. But so, the movie's about this teenage girl named Juno, and she gets pregnant as a teenager, and it explores a lot of dynamics between her and her family, especially. I think that the story dynamics between her and her family within the film are probably one of the most key aspects of it. I think an important aspect of this story in its screenplay, which is very complex, and I think the best aspect of it is that there are multiple catharsises throughout the story. There are two main in the first section of the film. These would be, I feel like when Juno tells her boyfriend Polly Bleeker that she's pregnant and then tells her dad, she's kind of getting a moment of catharsis in that scene, and it is allowing her to have that emotional release and revealing that she is pregnant. Now, the most interesting aspect of that scene, I feel like, in the film is the character of Polly, played by Michael Cera, which I feel like he's kind of an okay actor because he kind of plays himself in like every movie. So like, I don't know if he's like a good actor or not a good actor, but like, he's kind of this shy guy in some ways. And Juno's dad is kind of, very overbearing. So there's kind of a big contrast in kind of those characters. And I feel like in some ways through the screenplay, you can kind of realize like why Juno as a character might be attracted to Polly as a character. A lot of the aspect of the screenplay that like stands out to me the most is that the characters in the film, they're not written in like a very black and white way. The characters are very flawed kind of in their nature. You can see this in a lot of the characters in the film. And for example, Juno, I feel like in some ways is not really the most likable character, but as a lead, I feel like, because you can kind of maybe understand she has maybe some angst issues from dealing with her dad in some ways, because I feel like her dad is very overbearing, but you can kind of see him as being a flawed character in some ways as well, because there's kind of this nature of him. He's overbearing, but he's kind of, he still cares a lot for Juno as a character. You kind of see that in one scene through the film, and kind of towards the end of the film, when Juno and him are talking and just having a conversation. You kind of see a different side of this character that you don't see throughout the film. The third act ends when Bleeker and Juno are at the very end of the film at the end of the film, they were sitting on a bench and they were singing, and it kind of represents in my feelings, that they can move on with their relationship in a way and maybe be able to move past the things that happened in their lives, and they can accept that this child will probably have a good life, and they have a release and be able to know that they can move on with their relationship.